Have you ever found yourself lying in bed feeling like your own legs are holding you hostage? It's that maddening feeling of restless leg syndrome. Well, today we're going to break down exactly what's causing it and, more importantly, the #1 way to finally fix it for good. So let's get into this nightly nightmare and find the way out.
This right here, this says it all, doesn't it? It's that deep, inescapable, crawling feeling. It's not just a simple twitch. It's this profound agitation that just completely wrecks any hope you have for a peaceful night's sleep. All right, so first things first. Let's really unpack this thing we're calling the nightly nightmare. We need to get super specific about the symptoms that are keeping so many of us wide awake. You see, these symptoms, they create this awful, vicious cycle. It all kicks off with that overwhelming urge to just move. But then the burning and aching starts, and that nervous energy just won't quit. And here's the kicker. It always gets worse at night, right when you're desperate to relax. Of course, that leads straight to terrible sleep and full-blown insomnia. Okay, here's where we completely flip the script on this whole thing. We've all been taught to think of RLS as a leg problem, or maybe just a weird nerve issue. But what if the real problem isn't where you feel the symptoms? What if the root cause is actually coming from your body's fuel system? And that question leads us to this idea of a metabolic tax. Now think about it like this. Your diet, specifically the carbs and sugar, is placing a huge tax on a critical resource your nervous system needs to function. And your legs? Well, they're the first to feel it when the system goes bankrupt. So, what is this critical resource that's being taxed? It's vitamin B1, also known as thiamine. You can think of it as the literal spark plug for your entire nervous system. Its most important job is to take the carbs and sugar you eat and convert them into clean, stable energy for your nerves. If you don't have enough B1, that whole energy process just grinds to a halt. And this is the absolute heart of the issue. Every single time you eat a meal that's high in sugar or refined carbs, your body has to burn through a massive amount of vitamin B1 just to process it. You do that day after day, and you completely drain your reserves. It leaves your nervous system totally starved for energy, basically running on fumes. So what actually happens, on a biological level when those B1 spark plugs are gone? Well, it sets off this nasty domino effect inside your body, a toxic cascade. Okay, let's walk through this step by step. First, you eat a high-carb meal, and your body gets flooded with glucose. Then, all your B1 gets used up, like burning out all the spark plugs trying to deal with that sugar. With the spark plugs gone, the energy pathway fails, and instead of clean energy, your body starts producing a toxic byproduct, lactic acid. Finally, that acid builds up and directly irritates your nerves, causing them to misfire and go haywire. And that right there, that is the big aha moment. That burning, twitching, gotta move your legs right now sensation, it isn't a mystery. It is the physical feeling of lactic acid literally pickling the nerves in your legs because your energy system is broken. Okay, so this is the logical next question, right? Because I bet a lot of you have thought, it's a B1 deficiency, I'll just take some B1. And then nothing happens. The reason it fails isn't the vitamin. It's a critical delivery problem. See, your nerves aren't just bare wires. They're wrapped in a protective, fatty layer called the myelin sheath. The best analogy is the plastic insulation around an electrical cord. Well, standard vitamin B1 is water-soluble, and as we all know, water and fat don't mix. It has an incredibly tough time getting through that fatty barrier to reach the inside of the nerve where it's desperately needed. So, if the standard B1 can't get through the front door, we need a special key to get in through the back. And that brings us to the real solution, a targeted protocol designed to completely bypass this problem and reset the entire system. And this, right here, this lays it all out. On the left, you've got your standard water-soluble B1, blocked, can't get in. But on the right, we have a special form called benfotiamine. And notice the crucial difference. It's fat-soluble. This is the game changer. It means it can pass straight through that fatty myelin sheath and deliver fuel directly to that starving nerve. It's really the antidote for this kind of nerve problem. To put it simply, benfotiamine is the key that unlocks the door. Because it's fat-soluble, it gets past the gatekeeper, that myelin sheath, and finally restores the energy supply to your nerves. And once the nerves get their fuel, they stop pumping out all that irritating lactic acid. So here it is, the complete 3-step action plan. Step 1, you supplement with benfotiamine. This gets the right fuel past the barrier. Step 2, you have to reduce your refined carbs and sugars, ideally under 30 grams a day. You've got to stop paying that metabolic tax that's draining your B1 in the first place.
And step 3, which is absolutely vital. Make sure you're getting enough magnesium. It's the essential helper mineral that vitamin B1 needs to actually do its job.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. Restless leg syndrome isn't just some random condition you have to suffer through. It's a clear signal. It's your body screaming that its metabolic system is under serious stress. By going after the root cause, the fuel you're using, you can do more than just calm your legs. You can completely rewrite your metabolic story and finally get that peaceful night's sleep you deserve.